Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another video over here on the Chinese Zodiac and horoscopes. Today we're going to be doing a reading for you guys born in the year of the sheep, or the goat if you prefer. So let's see what you guys have been up to this week, shall we? Just going to move these around, shuffle them about, and we'll have a little look and see. Let's start about there. I'm going to take that one from the bottom, that one from the middle, and that one from the top. What have we got? Okay, so we're going to start off in a bit of a negative place with those two negative cards there. And also we've got that white card as well, which is something to look forward to all on its own. Or is it? Because black isn't always an attack and white isn't always all right, as I have to keep reminding you, just in case you forget. I'm going to start off with that negative rat card there. Now, that rat card is a doer, so potentially you're not really doing much at the moment. The rat and the sheep don't have a lot in common, so it's not the most compatible doer card that you could have got. And I think right now what you're sort of struggling with right now is potentially maybe feeling like there's a void, or there's something empty in your life or your home, or where your sort of workspace is. Basically, you think that you need to fill it with something. And this could result in retail therapy and buying things to fill this gap that you believe there is, because there's an empty space somewhere. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that your office doesn't need a pot plant, or a sort of I was going to say snow globe, but I don't know if you get snow globes this time of year. I suppose you would. It's still winter, isn't it? So maybe it will be a snow globe. But it's almost like you feel like you need to fill that space. Maybe you're not feeling great about things right now because it's winter, sun's not out, can't really go out and do what you'd usually do. You're kind of stuck at home a bit. Maybe you're a bit sort of sad and a little bit not kind of like upset sad, but just down in the dumps sad. Maybe it's got something to do with the weather. Maybe it is time for you to be creative, or maybe you've tried to be creative. Maybe you've got a bit of a writer's block or an artist block, and that's now bringing you down, especially as you can't really necessarily go out and take a walk because it's absolutely hammering down with rain, and that's what you'd usually do. I think potentially music could be something that could help you right now. I think music might be something that you could potentially benefit from. I think you feel as if things around you are a bit aggressive or prickly or uncomfortable. Like there's something not quite right, is there? Something, like I say, you feel like there's something missing, or there's something going on and you're not quite sure how to solve it. I'm not going to say that, going out and buying yourself a new pair of shoes won't fix it, because it could. But let's see what else we've got in the cards. The Ox card. So we need to think about things. Okay, so we're thinking about things now. We've got to think things through. The Ox is not the greatest card for the sheep. It is the worst card for the sheep, but I want to remain optimistic. This is your conflict card. The conflict of the sheep is the Ox. You can't get a worse card than this, but we're going to try and stay optimistic despite the fact that Ox is coming into play. You aren't in a great place because of what is happening, like I say, either at home or in the workplace. There's something going on there. It's making you uncomfortable. It's making you feel like there is nothing you can do, hence the negative doer card. You're feeling like the only thing that is within your power and your control is actually going out and potentially spending money, or even trying to gain control through arguments you know that you can win. That's maybe that Ox that's coming in there. The Ox and the sheep, they face challenges in communications, and I feel that potentially without communication or without reason, you're kind of leading yourself into conflict to get something, to potentially try and fill this void. But I don't think that's going to work, and I don't think I think it's not going to work as well. I think you're maybe doing this quite subconsciously in order to, I don't know, express some frustration because of the stagnation of where you are and where you're kind of not able to move on from this. But I think you're going to. I think you're going to figure this out. I think what we've got here is the lack of doing and the lack of thought. We've got no pre-planning. We've got no previous experience with it. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe this isn't a case of you being in a position that is bad and doom and gloom and you're stuck there. Potentially it's a place where you've never actually been before or really experienced in this way, so it's different, so you don't actually know how to respond because it's a kind of learn on the job opportunity, which you'd be reluctant to do because there's no real clear instruction of where you're actually supposed to go. So now you're procrastinating. Procrastination isn't going to get you anywhere. As I say, you're going to start to stagnate and you're going to get stuck there. You're going to start to make mountains out of molehills and you're going to start poking holes in things and you're going to start causing problems. You're going to start inventing conflicts and issues that don't necessarily need to be issues at all. And then you're going to start taking them out on people and taking them out on those around you. Or, you know, failing that, you're going to go out and you're going to spend money that I'm not going to say you shouldn't spend, but you're going to spend money that you wouldn't necessarily have spent if you weren't in this space. But I think you're going to come around. I think you're going to be okay. We've got the rooster card coming in, though. So, again, with the sheep and the rooster relationship, not a great one. Probably a good example of white not being all right, but it is in that positive. So at least we can say that it's the better side of the chicken. And that chicken has a keen eye for financial financial kind of matters. And I think you're gonna see that you probably shouldn't have brought that new sort of hot tub that's now on the patio, or you shouldn't have necessarily have gone out and bought that brand new soda maker. I don't know. I'm trying to think of elaborate things that people might buy. And potentially that was a bit of a mistake, but you got it now. So I suppose it is what it is. What it is. You can judge yourself all you like or criticize yourself all you like, but what you really need to do is have a bit more discipline. And I think you're going to figure that one out. As I say, I think you've realized a lot of this already because you're quite an intelligent person and you're emotionally deep, which means you'll be able to feel the vibe of things around you. Very you know, You'd be able to make more sense of it than most people would when things are off. And I think that's what's got you in this place, is because you can feel something off. You're just trying to figure out what it is. And once you figure that out, you're gonna be okay. I think communication is probably going to be the least of your issues to resolve this. Like, I don't think talking about things like this are gonna help things. So I do think that's probably going to lead into more arguments and conflict because of the way that it's going to be put across. However, if there is an opportunity to talk about things that could, let's say, potentially resolve things or give clarity or maybe more comprehension, they could be good conversations to have. But you've got to think this through. These are two thinking cards here. We've got to use that brain of yours, and we're going to have to start thinking these things through and thinking about what comes next and how we're going to get through this. I think the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start to criticize yourself for the spending that you've done. But if you've already done it, you've done it. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think the next thing we need to do is try and stay away from the conflicts that we are getting ourselves into or potentially going to get ourselves into. I think you need to kind of reserve yourself and pick your battles. And I think that following the rules or being a little bit more scheduled or disciplined, that could also help. But I think you're going to figure this one out. Like I said, I don't think this is something that, you know, you need expertise or professional help with. Like, it's not a flood coming from the bathroom sink that you need to get a plumber in to come and fix. It's more the tap is on and all you've got to do is turn it off, which you're more than capable of doing. It's completely different sort of side of things. I mean, yeah, if the pipe was burst, there was water gushing in, the house was flooding, you can't fix that. Well, unless you are a plumber, of course, which would, you know, I suppose statistically could be likely, but it's not very likely, I don't think. I don't know what you do. But let's just say you're not a plumber. You don't need to hire a plumber to come in and do this, because it's not a burst pipe. It's nothing so drastic and extreme. It's more the fact that the tap's on and all you've got to do is turn it off. Once you figure that out, you'll be all right. So just, you know, turn off the tap. And we'll see how we get on with that, won't we, next week when we come back and do another reading for you guys born in the year of the sheep. My next reading will be for those born in the year of the monkey. So if you are born in the year, if you are interested in those born in the year of the monkey, I will see you over then next. If not, no worries. I will just catch you in a video for you guys next week. Love and peace.